Freedom! Freedom! I think I should ditch this and become a singer. Yeah, get a guitar.
Oh, man. What's up, y'all? It's Monday on Romantic Propaganda, and the first topic we talking about today is freedom.
Freedom.
As you could tell.
Is there such a thing?
Yeah, well, we're going to find out. I'm film director Imani Shakur.
And I'm author Devon Hewett.
This podcast, as we always say, is inspired by Devon's amazing book of poetry. You got to check it out if you haven't. He'll tell you where it is. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, it's everywhere. Just Google it. You'll definitely find it. We are broadcasting the truth and exposing the lies as usual. It's a man's perspective on relationships and all that good stuff. We try to be truthful, raw, uncut. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on social media. Email us at rptalktrue@gmail.com. On Twitter, it is Romantic Propaganda. You know what I mean? We talk about it all on here.
Yeah, we're getting, not all, but we're almost there.
Yeah. We're almost there. But I have a few plugs before we get going. I want to shout out, first of all of our listeners on YouTube. And all of you on YouTube, we still have that 1,000 subscriber sweepstakes going. Subscribe if you like what we're doing. Just don't subscribe to win the $100. Subscribe if you like us. Check around ISENT Group Digital. If you like the content, subscribe. We're going to pull all those names, put them in a hat once we get to 1,000 and give that person $100 cash. Just as an incentive for subscribing to the channel.
Right. Also, we have a $100 wine voucher as well for subscribing, comment, sharing, giving your feedback, liking, reposting. Randomly, one of you will be selected to receive that $100, as he said, and we're throwing a $100 wine voucher.
That sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds romantic. Sounds all that.
I'll definitely use some wine. And then definitely our listeners on Spotify and iTunes and Google Play and Stitcher and Buzzsprout, all the iPhone and Android apps, all of our listeners on there. Thank you guys for tuning in and checking in and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, like I said, today, I also want to talk about, too, if you're into CBD and you're into healthy stuff that he was about, I did start a new CBD company called CBD Organic Oasis. Look that up. You get a discount code for all of our listeners. You get 10% off. It's really good stuff. And our CBD really has the amount of CBD they say is actually in it, which is very important because it's great for healing, sleeping, anxiety, depression, all that good stuff. So that's all the shameless plugs, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, guys.
So, all right. So let's talk about this freedom.
Today we're going to talk about freedom.
What is that? What
spawned. First of all,
what spawned this?
This episode is dedicated to a friend of mine in wine country named Katie.
Katie.
I won't say her last name out of respect for her and putting her business out there, but this episode is definitely dedicated to her. And the reason is I ran into Katie in wine country in Old Town where we hang out the other night. And she was just so happy and liberated. And I was so happy for her. It made me say, you know what, the next time we shoot the podcast, I want to talk about freedom. Because I met Katie over a year ago when she wasn't free. And I met her when she was still married. And I think she's separated now. I think finalized everything. I don't know the details of her separation and divorce, but I know it's finally happening for her. And I ran into her. And she was so happy and felt so liberated. And her energy after being free was so surprising and refreshing that I said, I want to talk about freedom today. I have to. And I want to tell her story. And I got her permission to tell her story. You know, so I met her like over a year ago and before I even tell Katie's story, this is about being free from relationships you don't want to be in. That's what I'm talking about when I say freedom, for whatever reason. You know what I mean? And I'm not here to judge anyone's reasoning, why they left, why they didn't feel free or why they didn't feel liberated or whatever. But in this case, Katie was married. I think she has 3 or 4 kids. And her husband was happy, but she wasn't. She wanted out. And we met, and I didn't even know she was married. I found out she was married, and she was a little reluctant to hang out and stuff like that because of the situation she was in. but she had been telling me how unhappy she was, and she felt restricted and she just didn't want to be there anymore. And friends in her circle told me, her husband still wants to be with her, but she just wants out. She's over it for whatever reason. And I didn't find out all of the reasons. And within that entire year, because wine country is so small, I would run into Katie out with her friends, and she would say, yeah, I've gone on a date here and there, but I don't kiss and tell. And you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, cool. I was happy for her, And I would see her, and she would always be kind of like out, but not really comfortable because I guess the situation hadn't been rectified. So Flip, last weekend, hanging out here in wine country, or 2 weeks ago, one of the two, we're at one of our local clubs, and I see this really sexy looking woman walking up the steps. Cause at our club up here, we have like hip hop on one floor, salsa and merengue and all on another floor, and they switch it back and forth, whether it's Friday or Saturday. So I see her going upstairs, and me and Crispy are like, oh, let's go upstairs. We see her and some friends going upstairs. And I walk up, she's on the dance floor dancing, and I walk up, and it's Katie. And I'm like, holy shit. She has on she's dressed like I've never seen Katie dressed before, guys. Now keep in mind, the year and some change I'd seen her out before, she was just always being some jeans, a shirt, looking kind of bland. Not really what I'm saying. She wasn't really making herself look good and all that. Man, I see her this time. She had on a tight, sexy mini dress. I said, hey, how you doing? And she was, she said, hey, how you doing? She starts dancing with me right away. So what's going on? She goes, I'm finally free. It's finally over. I'm like, seriously? She was like, yes, I'm so happy. Oh my God. So the other day, she had liked something on my Facebook. And I said, this is strange because she never liked anything before. So when I saw her, I was like, oh, that's why you liked my comment. She was like, yeah, exactly, because now I can freely just like what I want to like without it being looked at. And I was like, oh, it makes a lot of sense. Then she goes, which was just funny to me and just so adorable. She goes, you see my boobs? I'm like, no, what's going on? You know what I mean? Because unlike my friends, I'm not really a boob man. I'm more of a pretty face, nice shape, nice ass type of guy. I appreciate boobs, but not as much as maybe some other men. Every man has their thing. So she goes, I had a boob job. I'm like, seriously? She was like, yeah, you know what I mean? I was like, Katie, you look absolutely amazing. And I have to say, I have never in my entire life seen someone that happy, that liberated before after marriage and kids and wanting out that bad. I mean, it was just mind-blowing. Her energy, her look, her vibe. It was almost like she had been locked up for 10 years, wrongly accused, and finally, got let out of prison. That's what it seemed like. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I told Katie, I said, yeah, and she finally gave me her number for the first time, because before we were just friends on Facebook and stuff, And I told her, I said, yeah, we got to hang out. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. I said, I'm going to talk about you on the podcast. She said, yeah, that's fine. I said, I won't mention your last name or anything, but she said, yeah, that's perfectly fine. But I got to tell your story. This energy is just so amazing. And Katie was married, I forget how many years. I think it was over 10 years or something like that, And, bringing it back to me, even when I was with my exes, the one that was the dentist, I won't say her name, I felt as if I was in prison because of the way she would act. I remember times we would be going to wine country, and I would literally feel as if something was wrong just because I'm going to have a glass of wine with friends, because of the energy she would put on me to make me feel stifled and this, that, and the other. And last thing I'm going to say, that I'm going to throw it to you. And then recently, our friend Crispy broke up with his lady. You know what I'm saying? And he was and it was for the same reason.
What, she was just...
Yeah, the same thing, man. And Monday we just went for a Monday glass of wine and stuff. And he was like, man, it feels so good to be free. Like, I don't got to check in with nobody. And you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, why can't we have successful relationships without feeling like that? Why is that? It just trips me out. You know what I mean? I'm gonna throw it to you. You know what I mean?
I don't get. I mean, so I don't understand. So she was with someone she didn't like. I mean, was no longer her husband.
Yeah, they were married. They have 3 or 4 kids.
So
actually.
Katie has an unhappy marriage, or she had one.
Yeah, but who knows when it became unhappy?
Right.
When it evolved?
Right.
You know.
And so she was unhappy with the marriage, and now she's happy because she's out of the marriage.
Right, out of that relationship. Yeah.
And she has freedom to get boob jobs.
No, I don't think it was about that. For her, I think that was one of the things she just did to make her. That's something she wanted to change about herself. And I think after that, she felt comfortable about doing it. Okay. I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know if her husband just never agreed with it. I don't know the details behind the boob thing. But she was happy to let me know that she had that done. And you know what I mean? And that's fine. You know, that's something that women do for many reasons, you know?
Yeah, it's a mating call. What you saw was, I mean, that's your friend, but...
Yeah, no.
What you saw was what I would see as a woman's mating call.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
You know what I mean? She got the new dress. She's looking good.
Yep.
She got her breasts done.
Yep.
She's like, all right, boys, here I am.
Exactly. I'm finally free.
And that's freedom for women, I guess.
Yeah.
The ability to be an option for many men. At least in this case.
Or an option for a man that she would like. You know what I'm trying to say? Because obviously she didn't like her husband anymore for who knows what reason.
But it's on the basis of another man, right? So her happiness, it seems like that it's on the basis of her having someone else replace the husband, or she just happy.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't talk to her that long to
saying?
find out those intricacies in her mind.
Did she say anything like, I'm happy because now I can go and travel to here where I never could before?
She didn't say that.
Or I'm happy now because I have more time to paint or do something that I love. Or
I'm sure it has to do with all that. I mean, we were in a club. We didn't get into a deep conversation.
Right.
But I'm sure it may have to do with all that.
How old is she?
Well, I don't know.
Well, your age or so?
Yeah, probably late 30s, early 40s, probably.
You know what I'm finding in a lot of women and men in the late 30s and 40s era is that now they're in a bubble, like a renaissance, where we have more access to different types of people with the push of a button. You know what I'm saying? Someone that might be what you call tied down because they're married or have a wife and a kids, with these dating apps and Facebook and Instagram. They're seeing all this propaganda and they, what is that? I want to get involved with. I'm not free.
Yeah.
Because I want to swipe left or right and go meet with someone better. And instead of maybe fixing, not with your friend Katie, but instead of... In general, instead of, well, I'm not happy, well, let me try to get and fix this problem. Let me work it out. I need to get out. I need to break free. And maybe Katie and other people have tried for years to make it work, and it hasn't worked out. And they tried, and they're just exasperating. They're tired. Yeah. This person's not going to change.
Yeah, who knows what it was.
That's true freedom, is walking away from something that's preventing you from enjoying the life that you want to live.
Exactly.
But it should not be on the basis of finding someone else.
Right.
I
don't even think it was. Who knows what the reasons why her and her husband didn't work out. It could have been sex. It could have been he could have been boring. It could be he didn't evolve when she evolved. To keep the relationship spicy, you got to keep creating it. I have a saying that I say, if you don't create it, it'll cease to actually exist. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the details of why she wasn't happy. I never asked her that question. Maybe that's something I will ask at another time. You know what I mean? But yeah, I didn't ask her why. I never did ask her why she was unhappy or why she wanted out. I never found out. All I know is that she did want out, and she finally was able to get out, and she was so happy. Like I said, and I've never seen someone that happy before in my life.
Really?
You know, I'm telling you, after a relationship.
It must have been a bad relationship. Must have been horrible.
Or she could have just been extremely unhappy. Sometimes, dude, you feel trapped and caught in a situation you want to get out of, and you don't know how to get out of that situation. and you just want some freedom. You don't know how to do it. You know what I mean? You got married, and it's funny because I met another girl at the wineries one time when I went alone, and just ended up with this big group. And another girl was there. Her name starts with a B. I don't want to put her out there, but she was telling me, yeah, I got married and realized that it was a mistake. After a couple of years, she was like, what did I just do?
Right.
Because she didn't want to feel like if she's in this cage. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to that episode where we talked about girlfriends are more faithful than wives, and wives sometimes cheat because they feel more tied down. And this girl, she didn't want to feel tied down, and she didn't realize that until after she got married. So she quickly got a divorce. And now she has a boyfriend, and she's only seeing that boyfriend, but it seems different because she's not married to the boyfriend. So marriage changes the dynamics of a relationship.
But what about the principle? I mean, so she has a boyfriend. So since she's got a boyfriend, so if she finds someone else, so it's okay for her to go cheat on him, or you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not saying that.
I'm saying
she got out of the relationship.
No, I'm saying like a woman won't cheat because she's married, right?
No. Well, a lot of women that I've met
they do
cheat because they are married.
Because they
feel more trapped.
Because they feel more trapped.
Right.
So it has nothing to do with being loyal to one person. It's all about if I feel trapped.
In some of those cases, that's what it seems like.
So because of the papers or the ring or the children or the house.
I mean,
like what changes the? You know what I'm saying? Because
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because if it's a boyfriend, right? It's like a boyfriend. She's more loyal to the boyfriend. Why? Because you have more to lose in a marriage.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? You have more to lose. So then why would you be more free to cheat in a marriage?
Which makes you feel more which makes you feel more trapped.
Yeah, because you have more to lose.
Yeah, think about it.
So then
if it makes you feel more trapped.
So then what causes someone to lose freedom? Is it because they're not happy with the person? And then they let's say they get married. Obviously, they made a choice. Mm-hmm. Everything was going good. Yeah. And to get married, you gotta alleviate some type of freedom, right? You can't just be going out whenever you want without.
Right. You gotta make some sacrifices.
So what do you mean by freedom? Is it you know what I mean? And so if a person says, "I'm not happy because my husband don't let me stay out till midnight," well, then maybe you might have to compromise that. Right. I mean, it's not about you being restricted. It's like you are now married. It changes the dynamics of your life. So then you gotta find what the balance of what it means to be free and to be tied down. Because if you want to dance till midnight with your girlfriends in Vegas and your husband says no, it's not like you're tied down or you're not being free. It's just wait a minute, you gotta have some type of compromise.
Right.
Because he can say the same thing about going to get lunch with a girl at work. Yeah. And then his wife says no, and he's like, well, I'm being tied down, you know, I'm not free. Well, you're married to a woman, and she doesn't want that. Mm-hmm. So I think investigation is in order whenever we meet someone that says, I'm finally free, and what do you mean by free? In what sense? Because I do know people like to save face. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's easier to say, well, I left my wife because, you know, she was disrespecting me and wasn't allowing me to, you know, be who I am. But the central problem is he left his wife because he hasn't reached the maturity to sacrifice for someone else when it's something that he really wants. And when you marry someone, it changes that dynamic of the self. Yeah. You know, what you want isn't always important. And it doesn't mean you're not free. I think you can still be married and be free as long as you establish ground rules. Yeah,
and there are relationships that are successfully.
Yeah, but I'm hearing a lot of people say, I'm tied down. Well, in what sense are you tied down?
Yeah.
Because you can't have multiple sex partners, or you can't have multiple, you know what I mean? If you date or marry one person and that's what they want, that's what you agreed to, you signed the contract, now you want to back out. Why don't you try to fix the problem instead of saying you're not free?
Right. But see, if you look at what Crispy said, he's like, I don't have to check in. I'm saying I'm not with this person.
Yeah, why is he? So then,
but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, why is he checking in anyway?
All these are things that get established in these relationships to make either party feel comfortable or feel more secure. But then one person on the other side is felt tied down, as you say, or restrained, or feel, or made to feel as if someone's holding on to them and they can't be actually free. You know what I'm saying? Because, going out, having a check in and say, hey, by the way, I'm going to so and so. Why is that necessary? Especially if you're in a relationship, but a lot of people require that. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
And it makes the person on the other end go, damn, why do I have to let he or she know that I'm going to the winery right now just to have a drink? And if I don't let them know, they're going to be upset. And that stress makes someone go, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. Why can't I just be free? You know what I'm trying to say? Why can't I just be free? You know what I mean? I remember when I was with the dentist, we literally almost broke up.
But that was an extreme case.
Right, because I went and had some wine with Mark and Crispy and these guys. Well, we literally almost broke up.
Yeah, but she was an extreme case. Yeah.
But Chris's most recent ex was doing the exact same thing.
So that brings up a good point. That brings up a good point.
Yeah.
Why is it that we always find out what we don't like about the person later on? You know what I mean? It's like it's almost like we're meeting a false person at first.
Which is why I have my 3-month rule, but go ahead.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Because if you knew she was like that within the first month, you would have never,
Exactly.
And if Crispy knew she was like that in the first month, she
never got that involved.
So men, be careful. These women are concealing their true colors just to get you.
Right.
And that's why you're not free. It's because you've been deceived.
Yep. And
you've
then
been lied
to. They get
to.
more comfortable. They start showing their true
colors. I had a conversation with one of my buddies, and he said, Devon, you have bad taste in women.
Mm-hmm.
I said, why? And I hope he's watching this too. And I was like, why? He says, all the women that you've ever mentioned or dated, they all were very attractive, but they all were just damaged. And
you have bad.
You see what I mean? He was like, man, if you have all these bad apples, maybe it's just you're picking the bad apples. Mm-hmm. And I said, how do you know if it's a bad apple unless you take a bite?
Exactly.
How do you know a woman is damaged unless you get to know her?
Exactly.
And I told him those women are no longer around because I have good taste.
Right.
And the same with dentist.
After you took a bite,
and the Chris,
like you ain't no good.
And Crispy, right? Mm-hmm. You guys have great taste,
right?
Which is why those women are gone. Yeah,
and we're just looking for the right one,
and therefore now you're free,
right?
See, so when I hear freedom, I hear stepping away from what limits you from being happy,
right?
And if that is your partner, in the case with Katie, she did the right thing,
right?
You dig,
right?
But I also know that. With men, it's different than women. Women don't necessarily leave unless they got something prepared.
Right.
I'm not talking about Katie, but the women that I've known and met, if they leave and walk away, they said, I'm out, and she's living in your home or driving your car or you know what I'm saying? You rest assured she got somewhere else to go. And it's another form of security, maybe emotional, physical, sexual.
Right.
But we men, we don't really need that. When we say we're leaving, we're gone.
Right.
And we don't need to have a woman under our basket and this and that. But yeah, so we could talk about that later too, about bad taste, signs of a broken woman, signs of a damaged woman, what to look for.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and I do want to say, I don't want to just bash relationships and marriages. There are successful, organic marriages out there.
That's propaganda. I'm just kidding.
that are good, and both people are successfully together with freedom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm trying to say? There are some marriages like that, dude. There are some marriages that you can call your wife and go,
honey,
hey babe, no, hold on. You can call your wife and go, hey babe, I'm at the wineries with Chris and Devon and Imani. I'll see you later. And she don't even ask.
Yes.
Like, why didn't you tell me before? Why didn't you check in?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
If I could find that, you know what I'm saying?
When you're like,
baby, won't even trip. Like, who will leave the house in the morning and she knew you were working. The next time you spoke to her, you were at the wine. He said, yeah, I'm at the wine. She said, oh, cool. Tell the fellas I said hi. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? What time you gonna be home? Well, you know what, babe? We might go grab dinner. I'll see you right before bed. Have a great time. I'm going to make dinner for me and the kids. I'll see you when you come to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Brother, if I could find that,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because look, here's the thing, right? And I'll always say this. If you're, as a man, if you're in a marriage or a relationship, if you're taking care of all aspects of a relationship, the woman doesn't have a reason to trip about anything. So if I'm a great husband, a great father to the kids, a great lover, and I'm physically fit and I'm taking care of myself and I'm healthy and I'm spending an equal amount of time with her and or our family, and she spoke like that and gave me that type of freedom, as much as I say I'll never get married again, if I met a woman like that and she wanted to get mad, I'll marry her ass tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That is hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
Women, are there any of you left in the world by that example that I just talked about? Dude, if you could meet a woman like that, oh my God. I remember, just if I could further it slightly, I remember the same woman that our friend just ended with. We were going out one night and he told her where we were going. She said, why? You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm saying. So, like I said, I know out there are relationships that exist organically with freedom and they're successful love relationships. I'd love to find one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to bash
Ladies,
all
take
relationships
notes.
and all marriages, because there are some marriages out there that work and both people have complete freedom and they coexist and they love each other and they do things together too, and no one is tripping on nobody.
But the woman will say, wait, he can't. I'm asking where he's at because I've been cheated on before. That has nothing to do with him. You know, my ideal is, I say, honey, I'm going to the gym. I'll see you later. Nothing. Can I go with you? Yeah. Or can we work out together?
Yeah.
I'm going for a walk. Okay, Devon, have a good walk.
Yeah.
Do your thing. So freedom is about being you and doing you without doing you. You know what I mean? It's like you can do you without really doing you because you got someone else to do at home. Yeah. But you're still doing you.
Man,
you know what I mean?
Women. I mean, and it goes for men too. I mean, if you call your guy and you go, hey, babe, I'm going on a girls trip next week. I know we plan to do so-and-so. Can we do that next week? So-and-so is only off this weekend. Me, her, and 6 other women, we all going to go to Cabo for the weekend. It should be the same. Babe, go ahead. I'm going to handle the kids. We'll plan that trip for the following weekend. To me, it goes both ways. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, and there are relationships out there like that, and they do exist, and I know it's possible. You know what I mean? But to me, those are healthy relationships. No one should be imprisoned by their relationship, not a man or a woman. That's not what relationships are about. No one should be imprisoned by their relationship. I always have this thing, this example that I give. If you hold this book super, super, super tight, right? Eventually your hands will get tired and you're gonna have to put it down. But if you hold it like this, you can hold it forever. A year, a month, a week, 5 years, it's not going anywhere. It's still in my hand. I'm holding it. It's not going anywhere. But if I held it,
it's a good example.
If I hold it tight, my hand's gonna get tired.
Right, and it's going to cause damage to it.
And it's gonna cause damage to it.
Yeah,
good point.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to put it down.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Right. I like that.
So again, freedom is possible if both people are healthy and not insecure and not damaged, and the man isn't damaged, and the girl isn't damaged.
Right.
Freedom is possible.
And freedom, what you said, freedom is possible when you're ready to alleviate some freedom because you're healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those trick things.
Yeah.
To be free, you got to be ready to surrender some freedom.
Some freedoms, because you got to make sacrifices in a relationship.
Right,
absolutely.
Right. That's deep. That's deep.
Dude, like I said, that would be amazing. I found somebody like that.
Right. And she's home ready for you, or vice versa.
Yeah, and she's not tripping.
Right.
And guys, again, and girls, I'm not saying if you're slacking and not doing what you're supposed to be doing in the relationship. Obviously these relationships are healthy, successful. I'm not saying I'm going to hang out with the guys all the time and never take my lady on a trip or the family on a trip. I have a good balance and I'm doing both. And it's, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's the key.
Right.
So, yeah.
So I think that was a good point about freedom and, guys, to be free is to be you.
Yeah.
And to be you, you got to be ready to be healthy.
Yeah.
Right? Be healthy. Take care of your body, mind, and soul.
Yeah.
And that's true freedom. And you're not ready to share that freedom with anyone unless you are healthy.
Yeah.
And unhealthy people prevent other people from being free.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So we'll
definitely.
That's a good point.
Definitely. You know, and shout out to Katie, and once again, congratulations on your newfound freedom. I hope, you know, maybe we'll get to hang out a little bit sometime and I could hear more about exactly what happened, because I honestly don't know any details. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was so taken aback at how liberated she felt when I saw her. I said, I got to talk about freedom. And it's a good subject because I went through it with my ex. Chris just went through it. You know what I mean? And we all have gone through it and deal with it and stuff like that. So, yeah, freedom is key. It's possible to have a healthy relationship and be free and not be imprisoned by it. I think it's all possible. But if you're in a relationship where you feel trapped and or in jail, I definitely understand you getting out and feeling that liberation and freedom. That's the last thing that I have to say.
Yeah, we'll close it there.
Boom.
I like that, actually, about freedom.
Yeah. So that was our show, guys. Tune in next week, man. And we got more great topics. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button as well. You're going to get some good stuff on relationships. Follow us on social media. The info is in the description. Remember, we're broadcasting the truth and exposing the lies.
Yes, yeah.
Freedom!
Freedom! Las Vegas. What is it? Isn't that the song?
All right, peace.
Bye-bye.